I just did a whole hour recording and realized I didn't record my audio. My mic was on mute. It is what it is. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing um, Revelation chapter 18. I'm also going to show you how to use the Blue Letter Bible and the Strong's Concordance tool within the Blue Letter Bible, so you get a better understanding of what the Bible is actually saying, and you'll learn the root words and the definitions to those root words. Okay? And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Okay, so we're going to do a quick definition of spirit. So we go to this tools. It'll give you every single word as it's in that paragraph. Okay, spirit. This is the root word. Okay, that's how it's pronounced. This is the definition. These are footnotes. Whenever you see a definition that has the word in it that you're actually looking for the definition for, it's not the actual definition. It's a footnote. So you look for the ones that don't have that in there. Okay, so that's one, and we'll get into that after. Okay. Okay, so here it is. The efficient source of any power, affection, emotion, desire, etc., a movement of air as a gentle blast, of the wind, hence the wind itself, breath of the nostrils or the mouth. This is the spirit. Okay, you want to know what the soul is? Let's look up soul, yeah? We'll find it. Let's see. Remind me to find soul, okay? For all nations have drunk of the wine and of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, maybe my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much she hath glorified herself, and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. And therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, and mourning, and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. Okay, so let's look up the word right here for one day, because this is prophetic. It's prophetic. It's prophetic. And prophetic doesn't mean literal what it's saying, okay? So we're going to look here. One day, okay? So we know what one means. One is going to be the actual number. Okay? day. Prophetic, okay? Prophetic, remember this. The day used as a natural day or an interval between sunrise and sunset as distinguished from and contrast with the night. Okay, again, they're using that. Of the civil day. Eastern usage of this term differs from our Western usage. Any part of a day is counted as a whole day. Hence, the expression 3 days and 3 nights does not mean literally 3 whole days, but at least 1 whole day plus part of 2 other days. Okay, so it's giving you an idea, but in this context, it is a literal day. Okay. Therefore, her plagues come in 1 day. So, and you can't. I guess you can kind of say we were hit with a plague, but the coronavirus is more of a pestilence, but it can be considered a plague, and it literally did basically hit overnight. So, 1 day, but it's not necessarily saying that's it. Okay. Mourning and famine, and she shall utterly be burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God of our judgeth her. Okay. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Okay, so now we're going to look at the 1 hour thing. Okay, you got your literal day, which doesn't necessarily mean it's an actual day, but it could be from the morning to the following day. Okay, so an hour within a prophetic word. Okay, did I pass it? Did I pass it? Did I pass it? Nope. Okay, Hora. Okay, and this, get this, this is how you begin to understand what it actually means, because people are going to be like, well, if it's an hour and then it's a day and then it's an hour, that's contradictory. Hold on. A certain definite time or season fixed by natural law in returning with the revolving year. Of the seasons of the year, spring, summer, autumn, winter, a daytime bounded by the rising and setting of the sun, a day, a 12th part of the daytime, an hour, the 12 hours of the day are reckoned from the rising to the setting of the sun, a definite time, point of time, moment. So in this prophetic word, it's a season. Okay, that it's going to be happening throughout a year or within a season of the year. Okay, does that make a little bit more sense now? It will begin in a day and it will go through an entire season. Okay. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and of fine linen and of purple and of silk and of scarlet and of all thine wood and of all manner vessels of ivory and of all manner vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and of cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. So whoever this Babylon is, they still sell slaves, but they're also sacrificing people. They're selling people for sacrifices. That could be us. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. We've got this huge human trafficking problem that everybody seems to want to ignore, but it is happening. Why would they need to human traffic people instead of take the people in our own country? Because the people in our own country get noticed missing. And there's a big fuss over people in our country missing. So they traffic the people, because then nobody's going to make a big fuss over them because they don't know they're there. They don't know they're missing. Are you guys getting that now? Okay. Okay. So again, human trafficking is happening all over the place, but this place still deals with slaves. As far as I know, slavery in our country is a no-no. Even though some people think they still are slaves, you're getting paid. It may be pennies, but you're still getting paid. Slavery is, well, it's not even that. Because there are children in China that get paid pennies, and they're still considered slaves, child slavery, so, or child labor, I should say. But this country still deals with slaves. They sell people for sacrifices. Okay. To take their breath out of them. Okay. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee. And do we have a lot of fruits that we ship out to other countries? Probably. But there are other countries that ship in their fruits to us too. So again, all these countries still fit the description, and it's not necessarily a country, it's a capital. Okay. If you look up the word city, which I'll show you soon. Okay, hold on. And the fruits and thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly and are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. So I'm thinking Amazon for that, Where do you get all your jewelry and your cute little knickknacks and all your wonderful things? But I'm not, it's just kind of telling you you're not going to be able to find these things anymore once Babylon goes down. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. So the people who are doing all of this, getting rich off of it, are going to go hide and watch the rest of the people suffer for it. While they're safe in their little wherever they're at. And saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. Now, the only city I know of that's kind of like that is Hollywood, but in our country. I don't know about the other cities, but let's look up the word city, okay? The word city. Did I pass it? I did. Bad eyes. City. Polis is the root word. Okay. A city. Again, I told you, don't go by the first definition that has the word in it that you're looking for the definition for. One's native city, one's city. Heavenly Jerusalem, of course, we're not talking about Israel in this instance. The abode of blessing, the abode of the blessed in heaven. We're not talking about heaven in this sense. Of the visible capital in the heavenly kingdom to come down to the earth after a renovation of the world by fire. Okay, so again, we're not talking about heaven, because heaven's not gonna go poof. We're not talking about Jerusalem, at least I think we're not, but in all of this, which is the one word that stands out that actually gives you an actual definition? Capital. So it's a capital of somewhere in one of the countries that's going to go splat. Okay? It's a capital. Okay? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city. Here's that word great. And there's the definition just means exactly what great means. Okay? Wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Again, there's that hour. And again, it means within a season, this is going to happen. Okay? Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God hath avenged you on her. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. So this city or capital is going to be torn down so bad that it's no longer going to be in existence. It will no longer be a city. And the voice of harpers and musicians, and of pipers and trumpets, shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman, and of whatsoever craft he be, shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. So this is just clarifying that this city or capital or whatever, nothing's going to be going on. It's not going to be a functional city. And the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. Let's get into that, shall we? For all the vaxxed people, no judgment on you. But you want to know why a lot of Christians are refusing to take it? It goes right down to the root word of this. The root word is translated into sorceries. You want to see the root word? It's Greek. And this ain't made up, people. Okay? It's not made up. It's an actual Greek word, which means sorceries in our language, which the word pharmaceutical and pharmacy comes from. You want to see the definition of it? The use or the administering of drugs, poisoning, the deceptions and seductions of idolatry. We have every right to refuse that vaccine, or any vaccine, or any medication for that matter. If we don't feel comfortable with it, if we don't know what's in it, we have every right to refuse it, whether you're religious or not. That is the actual word for it, pharmakia. That is what the Greeks used that word for. This is our language translated from Pharmakia. Any questions? Didn't think so. And the pharmaceuticals would deceive all the nations. Now, this could be America because, well, who pushed out the vaccine? Okay, and in her was found the blood of the prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. Okay, again, Salem did some crucifying, even though they were being called witches. It was more on the lines of they were crucifying Christians because they knew about this. They knew what was poisonous, they knew what wasn't. And the rest of the Puritans were stupid dummies who had no clue and just decided that anything anybody did with herbs that kept you from being sick or that made you sick, you were a witch. But the Bible clearly states that he made all the herb on the earth for us to use. The difference between us using it naturally and pharmaceutically is huge. Okay? Okay. And if I was wrong, soul. Let me show you the word soul, because we went through spirit, right? We did spirit. Oops. Well, I'm going more and more back here. We did the word spirit, but I want to show you what soul means, okay? Soul, okay, soul. Nippies. That's the root word. That's actually Hebrew, by the way. Okay. Soul, self-life creature. Again, when you see that word in the definition, so you're looking for one that does not have that word in the definition, because you're looking for the definition to that word, okay? Living being with life in the blood, with life in the blood. Okay. I don't know why they got appetites here. Just funny. Okay. So, it's the life in the blood. Okay. And remember, they use these words in different ways. So, again, the soul is your personality. It's the life within you. The breath is your spirit. Okay? Just want to... So people... Because a lot of people think the soul and the spirit are the same thing. No, they're not. Spirit is your breath that returns to God when you pass on. You go into the grave. You sleep. You don't go to heaven right away, because you still have to be judged with everybody else, and everybody else hasn't died yet, so you're still asleep in your grave. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Your soul is your personality, what makes you who you are, and that goes to sleep while you wait for Jesus' return. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I know you like the idea of your loved ones up there looking down on you, but they haven't been judged yet. So you don't know if they go into heaven. I'm sorry, people. Okay? I would rather know that they're in their grave sleeping, waiting for God to do his thing. Okay? Because then they're out of the way. They're not dealing with all the things that we are going to be dealing with coming up soon. Jesus is King. God bless.